So the favorites are back in power. Yes! Because I was worried that Brandon's outburst, would have totally destroyed the unity on their part of giving these fans hope. Turns out, all that's really happened is that Philip has been exposed as not really that much better than he was the previous time. Although I have to be honest, I'm actually liking what he's doing this season a little bit more because even though it is perfectly possible to argue that he's being just as arrogant, just as much in the mouthing off department, it's a little more interesting to watch it this time because last time it was pure comic relief in my opinion. This time there's actually more strategy behind it and I like that. So he's not that much better, but he's better, contrary to what I was predicting. I'm still going to hold on to my prediction, however, that he's going to be first or second jury member. That is a lot more likely. So anyways, once we get the tribal switch, the favorites have that 4-3 majority on both sides of the equation, and then on Goda, that's the tribe that has both of the idols, but that tribe is really working together good in the challenges, but the fans are selling each other out, and the favorites are just reading them like a book. Eric, his used car salesman, comment, Andrea will leave the information to Malcolm that Sherry is just doing it. It's hilarious that these fans are literally asking to be booted. Make sure that happens. And I find it interesting how a couple of the favorites were getting some good brainwaves this episode because first to Cochrane, the big surprise where he decides, let's get rid of the power couple. Now, I know that that sounds like, like a simple thing that a contestant can think of, but in terms of Cochrane, he prides himself on being a huge fan of the game, which we know by now that he is, but he hasn't really demonstrated that greatly in terms of working with the tribe and being useful, but now he's really putting himself in a good position because with this episode, and given the fact that he's been more likable this time around, he's one of two people that is virtually immune on the Bicol tribe of being voted out. The other one's Dawn, even though she did get her name written down. They're the only two that are safe there, so kudos to you, Cochrane. Then Malcolm, we're not getting the Laundry 2.0 incident, hiding it on his wrist. That's actually a pretty smart move. I personally never would have thought of that, so good job. And then Andrea making up for her earlier mistakes, trying to form better relations with her tribe and all that, doing that with Malcolm, and that dream comment, hilarious. Then we've got the Bicol tribe, which I was totally hoping was going to lose because we've got all kinds of drama on that side. And I'm really hoping that this time, the tribe that is more likely to self-destruct actually self-destructs. If we get another 10 day, oh my god. Yeah, now that we're a couple months away from the end of Philippines, I think I'm beginning to understand why I don't like that season as much as everyone else does, because most claim that this is the best season since HVV, and that it's actually one of the favorite seasons. For me personally, it's one of the lowest seasons I like, along with Nicaragua, All-Stars, and possibly Exile Island, if my memory is correct, when I rewatch it, because I actually haven't seen it since it first aired. But anyways, enough of that comment. But let me tell you, the relations on that camp are actually pretty interesting to watch, because we've got Cochrane and Dawn as the people who are safe. We've got Philip and Corinne as the two people who pretty much hate each other, and yet they're trying to keep the favorites thing going because they want a favorite to win this game, and so do I. But then we've got Corinne debating about going with the power couple and all that. Philip trying to bring the power couple supposedly into the alliance, trying to form an alliance with Julia. Julia trying to mingle with the fans and then the favorites, and then we got the power couple, unfortunately, because they were getting a good edit in episode 1, sucking up to Philip and Corinne and all that, just allergies. Anyway. Yeah, that was pretty disappointing to see Matt and a tiny bit of Michael doing that, because they had potential and then this episode totally shattered it. Well, it was kind of to be expected, because it's kind of given that the fans are going to be pawns, which I'm not totally complaining about it, but it's still interesting to watch what the fans are doing, and then to see two people that had a good relationship basically get it shattered. It's pretty disappointing, because when Matt got booted, I felt sorry for him, because he demonstrated that he's a good fan of the show, albeit he did too much sucking up for my taste. And then Michael, he lost a good friend. Yeah, it's kind of sad. Anything else I can mention about the episode? Not really, so moving on to next week, well, it's always the Baikal is going to continue to suck at the challenges. My hope is that they do. So, it's pretty obvious at this point that there is one more episode where there is, a tribal immunity at stake, because after next episode, we'll be down to 12 contestants. Now, here comes the big question. Is there going to be a double tribal episode? Because since there's 20 people, you pretty much have to have one. Because when there's 18, it's actually possible to avoid having one. Because One World did that, Redemption Island of South Pacific sort of did that. You guys should know what I mean. And like, now I know what you're thinking, Micronesia didn't do that. Well, actually, if you look closely at the structure for the last tribal immunity of that season, you actually find out that that would have been the double tribal, because think about it. It was a combined reward immunity challenge, and before the challenge even started, one member of each tribe is sent to Exile Island, and then they get immunity. Even the winning team. So, doing the dots, you should have been able to figure out that that would have been the double tribal, had Penner not been pulled out or Kathy quit. That's also one reason that it ended up being the final two, because so many people were booted. At least that's the popular theory. We wouldn't know. Only Jeff or other producers could tell us. Man, I've been going for a while, haven't I? Oh, and Malcolm appearing to form a relationship with Reynolds and Eddie. Don't do that, dude, okay? Try and, figure out that one of them's got the idol, but don't form a relationship, okay? Because, well, the last time you tried to make a Final Four alliance, I mean, like, I got you to the Final Four, but they earned distrust of you almost immediately. It was your immunity winning streak that kept you alive, and then your behavior put your closest ally against you. And just don't do that again, Malcolm, please. I want to see you get far. Well, this was a long one. I guess I had a lot to say. Bye.